everyone, I'm Brianna.
Wait, I wasn't ready.
Oh
Hold
my
on.
gosh, okay, you said here we go.
Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Brianna McGowan.
I'm Erica Dixon. We are Blazeny, and this is Tipsy Talks.
If you are new to our channel, thank you so much for joining us. If you're already a part of our bridal party, thank you for... I didn't mean to say that. Okay, ready? Hi everyone, I'm Brianna McGowan.
I'm Erica Dixon. We are Blazeny, and this is Tipsy Talks.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If you are new, welcome. If you are a part of our bridal party already, thank you so much for joining us again. We hope you have your champagne and you're ready to talk all things wedding photographers. Your wedding photographer, if not the, is one of the most important vendors that you choose for your wedding day. At the end of your wedding, when everything's done and you and your spouse return from your honeymoon, all that you're going to have left for the rest of your life is your memories through your photographer. So whatever images that you receive back, we hope that they are the images that you were wanting. So in order to pick your photographer, we ask that you please consider a couple things. When you're searching through Instagram or Pinterest and you come upon a photographer or a photo that you like of a wedding, what is it about that photo or that photographer that you like? Is it their editing style? Is it the way that they happen to capture the candids? Is it their posing style? Is it that they're comfortable behind the camera with large families? These are all things that you need to look at. If you're looking at an image and you think, oh my gosh, I love how warm that is and how rich and romantic that looks, but I picked bright yellow and bright blue or whatever it may be,
Hot pink.
Are the colors that you chose going to match that style? Probably not. So make sure that you are looking at the colors you already chose for your wedding and finding a photographer that will complement those colors. So when you're looking at this image, are you thinking to yourself, wow, it is so beautiful. I love the way that they are just captured in such a candid moment. I really hope that I can achieve that one day. Well, look at that photographer and maybe sit with them and ask them, okay, did you pose this? Is it really candid? Because a lot of those candid images you see on Pinterest are not as candid as you think. They are actually very posed. A photographer can tell you even down to put your toe a little more to the right. Do you want that direction or do you not want that direction? Do you want somebody who's going to be a little more lifestyle photographer, who's going to come in and capture more of the natural vibe of the day, or are you wanting somebody to come in and give you a little guidance on how to pose and how to smile or whatever it may be?
Which is not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing at all.
Because sometimes people think they want candids, and what candids usually mean is when you're looking through photos and you're like, oh my gosh, you captured me chewing, or you captured me
laughing
in this weird
with 5
look.
chins.
Yeah, that's candid, and sometimes the little more posed candid is really what you want. You just don't realize you want that.
Yeah, so make sure that you're looking at that. Make sure you're looking a big thing that you need to look at, and I know I kind of just said it, is their editing style. It is such a big deal. Are they actually going to get the little wispies out of your hair, or are they more of a point and shoot and here is the image that you get because it's what I captured? Or are they going to say, oh, her hair is off a little bit, or oh, it looks like she may have pepper in her teeth because she just had dinner and now she's posing with grandpa. I'm going to go ahead and get that out. I'm serious. It really is something that photographers, you have to look at when you're picking your photographer. Will they actually get that out? So editing style is a really big deal as far as colors go. Before you choose your photographer, please make sure you are looking though at the colors that you chose for your wedding. It really is a big deal. Are they going to complement those, or is that rich burgundy color that you picked because you love that color, you love that vibe and that romantic feeling that it gives? And then they give you the image back and they've edited it so much that they've washed it out and it's orange. Or, oh my gosh, this rich, deep blue is so beautiful, I'm going to use it, and now it's green.
And that comes back on you because that is who they are, and they're telling you who they are in their Instagram. So it's not their fault. That is them. That is their voice. So you need to really watch that.
So really look at what they're putting out, because that is what you're going to get back at the end of the day, is that. Do you see your color that you chose in there? Ask them, wow, that's such a pretty green. And if they say, oh yeah, actually it's blue, then maybe that's something you need to think about, because they were there and they saw the actual image or the actual item that they captured. So that's something you definitely want to look at, is their personality, okay? Is it someone that you vibe with? Can you sit in a meeting and do they understand what you're looking for, what you're wanting? Do they put themselves out there and they are excited and eager? Do they love what they do? So if it's something that you're not sure, book an engagement session with them, okay? A lot of times when you're booking your engagement session, you're not actually thinking wedding day. You're thinking, oh my gosh, this is another event. I'm going to pick out this dress or this outfit, this makeup artist, my hair is going to look like this, and we're going to go off to the mountains even though we're getting married at the beach, and we're going to go ahead and put together our engagement session. Make sure that when you are at your engagement session, how long is it taking? If it's just the two of you and it's taking hours, or it's taking 30 minutes for them to say, oh, let's go over here, or oh, let's take this image. If it's taking a long time and then you think about your wedding day, the two of you taking a long time, imagine 50 family members trying to get in an image together. Where are you going to stand? Is your photographer going to come with you and see the venue before, or are they now going to scout the venue like they are at your engagement shoot and try to decide, oh, let's cram your family over here? So really book the engagement session with in mind, is this the photographer who is going to capture the images of my wedding day the way I want the images captured?
They need to be as comfortable, if not more comfortable than you are. They're supposed to make you feel comfortable, because sometimes getting in front of a camera can be very intimidating and uncomfortable, and you don't know how to stand. And even in this world of selfies and Instagram, there's a lot of people out there who don't feel comfortable in front of the camera, and your photographer's job is to help you feel comfortable. And if they're not comfortable in posing you and preparing you in an engagement session when you have 75 family members and we're like, okay, we're on a timeline, we have a lot to do, we got to hurry up, that's definitely something to think about and consider. There are so many amazing photographers out there.
Yeah.
But please, their Instagram is their voice. Really make sure that you're listening to that voice. The other thing you want to talk about is not only the money, because money, we've talked about this before, there are certain vendors that you don't want to really skimp on. I mean, this is one area that you want to really put your budget forward in. So if it takes away from your budget somewhere else, make sure that you're really putting your money and your budget into your photographer, because as Bree said, this is what you have left. So there are a couple things to consider when you're considering your budget and a photographer. Are you going to need a second shooter? What does your timeline look like? So if you're working with your photographer or your coordinators and you're talking about your timeline, a lot of people, just because the wedding starts at 3:30, you got to back up. Okay, so you start at the time you want to start your wedding and then you back up. And so you want to figure out how much time do you need to do your first look, to do your bridal party, to do your getting ready, to do him getting ready. Yeah, first look with dad, first look with mom. Something special that you want to capture or a family member wants to capture. So you got to see a lot for how much time you need to do all of those things, and you need to back that time up, because a lot of photographers, they're going to say, here's my package and it covers this many hours, 1 shooter, 2 shooters. So you need to really consider what your timeline is, how many shooters you have, what is most important to you to have captured. Do you really want to capture your getting ready with your girls? Do you really want to capture your send-off? Because those are 2 ends of the night, and you have big plans for both, but your shooter has to fit in this amount of time. So you got to figure out what's most important to you and add that into your price.
And your second shooter that she mentioned earlier, do you want a second shooter? And when you're looking at your timeline, something to remember too is, oh, I don't need a second shooter. My one photographer, just, the main photographer can capture both myself and my spouse getting ready, but then that eats into your time.
Especially if your spouse is across town and you're here and they want to get grandpa in, putting their tie on, or something special that they brought that's important to them. So there's a lot to consider when you figure out your package for your photographer, and you really should be working with your coordinator to determine what you need in a photographer.
And when she said what's important for you to have captured, if it's important that if you don't do a first look, or even if you do a first look, but let's say you don't, when you're walking down the aisle, is it important to have both your face and your groom's face captured? Because if it's important to have both captured at that exact moment and you only have one photographer, it's not going to work. They can't capture the exact moment at the same time because they're only one person. They only have one camera out. So you need 2 shooters. Or if you do the first look, I want both our faces captured at the same time. Again, if you only have one shooter, they can't get both head-on reactions by themselves if you don't have a second shooter.
And if you're going to do something special, we just had a groom recently. We actually posted on Instagram. He's holding up a sign. You want to talk about those things with your photographer and let them know those things are happening so that they know to be in position and ready to capture both sides. Because, of course, our bride did not expect it. She laughed. She cried. She thought it was amazing. But if we didn't tell the photographers that that was happening, you wouldn't have captured it. And that's really important to do. Another thing that I don't think we think a lot about is the experience of your photographer. They may take beautiful images, but what is their experience in capturing a wedding? Because capturing a wedding is a very unique thing. It's not just the Christmas light. Cards. It's not just capturing the people that you're capturing. In a wedding, you want to capture the scenery, the visitors, the guests, the all of the stuff that you put,
the details,
all of your money and your time into the last year in planning, and you want the centerpieces and the tables and the
food,
love between the two of you. There is so much to capture. But one of the biggest things to capture is if you have a really large family, if you have issues in your family. There's a lot of family dynamics out there, split families, multiple families. Your photographer has to know how to capture those.
And to be comfortable in those situations.
Exactly, and be able to be kind and loving yet assertive. And those are really important. So if you have family dynamics that you're concerned about, make sure you're discussing those with your photographer and that you're laying it out very clearly and concisely who's getting their picture taken when. Your coordinator can certainly help with doing that, but those are definitely things to consider when you are choosing your photographer. But again, pay attention to their voice, pay attention to what you need, pay attention to the timeline. I think those are overall the most important things that we want to talk about in picking the right photographer for you.
The other thing too is this day and age, everything is all digital. So there are still some photographers out there that will offer only prints. That is something you really want to be considerate of and to really look at, because it sounds amazing. Oh my gosh, I don't have to go down to wherever it is or send it off and have it printed out. But then you're only getting the prints, and all your family across the state or across the country or in another country, they don't get to see those images because you can't share them digitally. Do you get both? Those are also things to consider in the pricing, is how are they going to present the images to you, the final product? What are you going to receive?
And do you only get limited amounts? I mean, there's a lot of photos.
Do you have the rights to access them and print them yourselves? Those are all things that you really, really want to look at in your contract and in the things that you're discussing along the way. So that's our tip for our photographers today. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. We would love to answer them. If you are a photographer and you have something you want to add so that people may know to consider when choosing you or choosing another photographer, please, photographers, add those to the comments if there's anything that we missed. We really enjoyed having you here today. If you'd like to join our bridal party again, please make sure you subscribe, like this video, turn on your notifications so that you never miss a video. That's our Tipsy Talk for today. Hi everyone, I'm Brianna McGowan.
I'm Erica Dixon. We are Blazeny, and this is Tipsy Talks.
We are Blazeny? That's what you said. Did you hear it?
Always.
You want to know what my problem is? You say, we are Blazeny and this is Tipsy Talks, and all of a sudden I hear, our opener. So then I'm like pausing, like waiting for the opener to finish in my head.